So I will focus on some top tips and what goes wrong when we don't sleep. When we're asleep, some of us have no idea what's actually going on in our bodies. There's so many processes that are happening, which when they don't happen, that's when we see ill health. So your cardiovascular system or your heart system is being regulated, your blood pressure's been lowered, your immune system is being boosted so that you produce more what they call natural killer cells, and these killer cells fight malignancy. There's a balance going on between circulating insulin and glucose. You may have heard those words. And of course, if that doesn't happen, you can be predisposed to prediabetes. But the thing I think is probably the most worrying about not sleeping, and I really want to hammer home, is mental health. Because when we go into deep sleep, we can process all the events of the day in our mind. And this is something I work with Wingwave, because it's a wide awake, rapid eye movement, which is processing the events of the day. Now, when that doesn't happen, it's like an unsent email going round and round in your brain. So you're lying there worrying about this, that, and the other, and you can't put it to bed. So deep sleep is really important. And the other thing, voice is gone, excuse me. The other thing is, there's emerging scientific evidence that when we don't sleep, a protein called beta amyloid is laid down in the front of the brain. And this is the part that regulates deep sleep. And this beta amyloid has been found in the brains of patients with Alzheimer's. 2 and 2 make 4. Doesn't mean everybody who doesn't sleep is going to get Alzheimer's, but it certainly isn't going to help matters. Now, it's quite sobering, but I want to ram it home because people think they can exist on small amounts of sleep. You can't. You can for a short time. It will affect your health long term. It will increase your risk of heart attacks. It will increase your risk of strokes. For men, it reduces your testosterone levels and your sperm count. For women, it reduces a hormone that's involved with conception. So can you see how so many processes are going on in the body and we don't even think about it? So my 5 top tips today, and please forgive me those of you who've heard this before because I've talked to you before. Number 1 is ditch the phone from the bedside. Ditch the devices that you wear to track your sleep, because these devices emit what they call positive ions or electromagnetic frequencies. You don't need to get your tinfoil hats out. It's a fact. We are a bioelectrical being, and these frequencies, they upset our systems. Try it and see. I have helped so many people last year with that one singular piece of advice. Put the phone onto flight mode if you need it on for an alarm. It will still work and you will still get to work on time. Number 2 has to be drink more water. Your body needs water. And another sobering thought is that a 1% reduction, only 1% in total body water, can affect your mood. How many people do you see who are anxious and they don't know why? And as a therapist, when I consult, I don't drink water, I drink tea and coffee. Don't you drink water at all? Nah, I don't like it. But your body needs water. The electrical impulses going around the nerves in your body need water. Every system in your body needs water. Is it that you don't like the taste of it? Have you forgotten to drink it? Do you mistake thirst for hunger? Because so many people do. Drink more water. How much water? 2, 2.5, 3 litres, depending on your body mass. I worked with a 20-stone gentleman and he needed 4.5 litres. That's quite a lot of water, but then he had a big body mass to hydrate. If you want to know more, have a chat with me. Tip number 3 is to have a routine. So if you're struggling with sleep, you need to go to bed at the same time every day and get up at the same time the next morning until you get your sleep sorted out. And ideally, that wants to be a multiple of 90 minutes. A sleep cycle is approximately 90 minutes. So anything from, if you know you're going to have a late one and you can't get any sleep, aim for an hour and a half. I think I'd be dead if I had an hour and a half. But anyway, there with sore head springs to mind. So an hour and a half, 3, 4.5, 6, ideally. dare I say it, 7.5 to 9 hours sleep. How many people here get 9 hours sleep? Nobody. Oh, okay, I'm on my own then. Okay. Right, so having a routine, having a cull on your devices, or have blue light filters, because the blue light from the screens affects a hormone called melatonin. You may have heard of melatonin. Some children are prescribed melatonin to help them sleep. Well, my observation would be perhaps if they had a curfew on their devices before bed or during the day, they might not have so many problems sleeping. And indeed, I work with numerous children who are on devices for far longer than ideal, and they don't sleep, and their parents wonder why. Melatonin is also reduced. Voice, God, melatonin, going up 2 octaves. Lincoln, play. Oh God, melatonin is also reduced with stress. So it's a vicious circle. If you don't sleep, you're anxious, you're stressed, you reduce the melatonin, you're working under artificial lights, long hours in front of screens. So these are all things to be considered. Top tip number 4 is to get outside. Actually get outside into the fresh air, because nature is wonderful. There's negative ions, which are healing ions. They come from trees, they come from leaves, they come from standing barefoot on the earth. And so many of us are disconnected from nature these days. We live inside in our insulated homes, never touching a leaf, never walking barefoot. I recommend it. It's really, really good. And there's an amazing book here that I've read recently called The Happiness Effect, which is the positive effect of negative ions. And negative ions, if you have enough of them, will help you sleep, will help you mend, will help you heal. So what if you could sleep in a system like that? It'd be pretty amazing, wouldn't it? I do. I wake up refreshed, focused, and raring to go every day. I'm very lucky and I'm very grateful. My last tip is caffeine. Now, caffeine's been given bad press. Everybody likes a cup of coffee. It depends how many you have, what time of day you have it. Because if you have your last cup of coffee at, say, 8 o'clock in the evening, 50% of that will still be buzzing around your brain at 6 hours after that. What's 8, 12, 2 o'clock in the morning? Quick bit of maths there. And a quarter of it will still be buzzing around another 6 hours. And caffeine is a clever little thing. It blocks some receptors which normally receive something called adenosine, and this is called sleep pressure. It's all getting a bit scientific, but basically, when you wake up, 16 hours after you've woken up, you're supposed to feel sleepy. But when you drink caffeine, it blocks these adenosine receptors, so it's actually acting against what the body's trying to do. And always read the labels, because so-called decaffeinated will still have an element of caffeine in them, and it's what else they've put in it to substitute it. And many so-called healthy drinks have got caffeine in. So always read the label, because some of the herbal teas have ice cream, dark chocolate. Why on earth it's got caffeine in? And yeah, we've all had coffee to boost ourselves in the afternoon. How about a drink of water instead? Or how about going and standing outside on the grass? How about having a glass of water? These are all the things I look at. So hopefully you found something useful in that. If you try these things and they don't help, then why not book a one-to-one with me and we can dig deeper and find out what's going on, because there is so much more to discover. Your gut, your bedroom environment, so many things. So that's me from Marian. That's me, Marian, from Life Changing Energies. Does anybody have any questions? Penny, can you monitor? Because it's gone up like this.
Anybody have any questions, please?
So going to get a cup of tea on my phone. No, Sharon, it's not. We need to talk. No. Thank you, Lincoln. Yeah. And they do work. I mean, I worked with a lady who was pre-diabetic and had raised blood pressure. And when she started sleeping 3 months later, she was no longer on medication, not from me, but through her doctor, because her blood pressure was normal and she was no longer diabetic. I have night shift. Yeah, okay, awesome hope. Okay.
Oh, so the night shift is the colour thing, isn't it? On the phone? Who said that?
Can you unmute? Is that the blue light filter? Where's Hope?
Yeah, I don't know if anyone can see that, but basically you hold down, if you've got an iPhone, hold down the brightness and then it's here.
Okay.
You can see it like changes colour.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah. So either put a blue light filter on or have a curfew and say, right, I'm going to bed at 11. I'm not going to have any devices from 10. And actually read a physical book or have a relaxing bath or meditate or listen to relaxing or talk to your partner or talk to somebody in the household. You know, that'd be quite novel for some of us, I'm sure. So,
so
say
Marian,
it how it is.
If one has to leave their phone on for whatever reason at night time, what's the distance you should have that phone away from you?
Yeah, and I in fact worked with a lady who had to have her phone on because she was on call for her elderly mum, and she put it in the other room because she could still hear it ring in the other room, as far away from the bed as possible. Because let's face it, if you're going to have to get up in the night anyway because somebody's calling you or there's an emergency, don't just go like that on the bedside table sort of thing. You know, actually get up out of bed so you're having to move. It makes no difference. You're up. So as far away as possible, really. And, you know, some people's bedrooms are like curry showrooms. They've got Alexas, they've got TVs, iPads, you know. No, the bedroom's supposed to be a place of sanctuary. Penny, as you know, when we did the photo shoot together, that was a riot. Yes, Penny's very entertaining. We did a bedroom shoot together, but not the sort you might think. It was for products, not for anything else, wasn't it, Penny?
It was.
Yes,
I made a bedroom in the studio, a set-up bedroom.
Yeah, it was incredible. But yeah, sleep is so important and so underrated. So who do you know in your world who might be struggling? And sometimes it can be something really simple, like changing one of those tips. Sometimes you might need a magnetic quilt. Sometimes you might need something else. So I'm here. I offer consultations in exchange for a donation to my charity, which is the food bank, a charity very close to my heart. And I want to get the UK sleeping, because when we sleep better, we live better.
True.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
That was excellent, Marian. Excellent. Really, really good. Anybody want to add to that? Anyone else want to say anything?
Yeah. Penny, Marian. Hi, Marian. Great to see you again. We haven't spoken for a long time. The first thought that came to me, because we know each other. Whenever you hear celebrities alike, and the one that comes to mind is Margaret Thatcher, famously said, "I don't need any sleep." What did she die of?
What did she die of?
Take of that? Right. Okay.
Alzheimer's. You know, and my ex-mother-in-law, she drank tea copiously all day. She was a Scouser, lovely lady, never drank water, didn't sleep, and she had the most vile death with Alzheimer's. Now, it's not to say everybody's going to die that way, but, you know, we've got one life. Let's live it the best we can, give ourselves the best opportunity. You know, I can exist on 4 hours, you can for a certain, but it will shorten your lifespan, for sure. And affect so many other things, you know, so many other aspects. So, you know, if you want help getting at least 7.5 hours sleep, then please do talk to me. It won't, you know, it can be something really simple.
I've got to say that the tip, I mean, all the tips are brilliant, but the one about fresh air, I mean, having been, as everybody knows, I came down. I've been working incessantly, practicing, recording. I had 2 days away from the piano. The one thing that I did, which made my wife laugh, I spent more time outside when I was with Ollie than I've ever done. And last night I slept better. My wife said to me that I slept better. One, for having obviously the seaside air and all of that, but for being outside. I didn't realise that being outside made that much difference. That's the tip that's been my big takeaway. I mean, they're all great takeaways, but did that one come as a surprise to anybody else? It did for me.
Mm. No, it's definitely being outside is just one of the best things.
You know, and some people can't get outside safely because, you know, they may be blind and they can't walk barefoot outside. So, I mean, I'm currently standing on a grounding mat. So that's acting like as if I was standing on the earth. And grounding discharges all that positive electricity from your body, and it has an immediate effect on your physiology. So, you know, if you can get out and hug a tree or touch a leaf or stand on the grass or the soil or the sand, just for a minute, that will change your physiology. And when we're out, you know, say for example, if you go camping, comfort aside, you tend to go to sleep when the sun goes down because the melatonin production has kicked in, and you wake up with the sunrise. So, you know, get outside in the morning to have your cup of coffee, if you're going to have a cup of coffee, because that will stop the production of melatonin and wake you up. And Melanie's exercise, you know, do a bit of exercise. There's so much to look at. So I join the dots when people talk to me, and I suppose it's a bit like a detective, work out where it is that they need to make a change. And 99% of the time I can help them, and if I can't, I refer them on to someone else.
Brilliant.
Get outside.
Yeah.
Sorry, Marian, can I just ask, I know I'm a complete disaster with sleeping. When you're talking about 7.5 hours, I assume you mean uninterrupted?
Yeah.
It's the interruptions is my issue.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
mine as well, Sharon.
Okay, so should we have a chat? I mean, it may be there's an unconscious block there that, I mean, I worked with one lady and she hadn't slept for 4 years, and her unconscious block was the fact she'd had a house fire 4 years prior. She wasn't in the house when it went up, but the trauma of it was still in there. So every night when she went to sleep, she'd doze off, and 20 minutes later, she'd wake up with a knot in her stomach. So when we cleared that emotion from her with the wing wave, she started sleeping, and she's been sleeping ever since. So, you know, there's a whole scope of things, and there's a questionnaire I could send you. You know, if you want to have a consultation, we can have a consultation.
Yeah,
easily.
I think I will, because I've just allowed it to be normal. No, like I haven't slept right through the night for, I'd say, about 30 years.
Wow.
Probably since I had children.
Yeah. The ear's out listening, isn't it?
Yeah, there's still that 3 o'clock in the morning. I think I can hear it, yeah.
Okay, that's quite significant, 3 o'clock. So we'll have a chat. I know we're connected on LinkedIn, but we'll have a chat.